Hey everybody, Big Pauly back for another video. This is my next top 5 video, and it is the movies of M. Night Shyamalan, or Shyamalan, however you want to say it. Now, this is the top 5 in my preference order. Might shock some of you, might surprise some of you, but should we see my top 5 M. Night movies? Hit it. Right, let's begin at number 5. Okay, hopefully I can hear everybody screaming right this minute, because my number 5, yes, what's considered to be the best M. Night film of all time is actually my number 5. Can't explain it. I think it's probably repeat viewing. I mean, this is a great film. I mean, it stars Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, and anybody that's seen it knows what it's all about. I mean, Bruce Willis plays Dr. Malcolm Crowe, who's a psychologist that has a bit of a run-in with one of his former patients on an evening that he's due to get an award. And he tries to help out, later on he tries to help out Haley Joel Osment, who plays Cole, who sees dead people. Don't we all? He tries to get to the bottom of why he sees these people and how he can help him. Also stars Toni Collette, and she's really good. She brings across real emotional impact. If you're not familiar with Toni Collette, then I would advise to watch Muriel's Wedding, which is one of the best Australian movies of all time. Both that and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So see them films back to back, you'd love them. So yeah, anyway, it also stars Donnie Wahlberg as the troubled patient of Bruce Willis's character. Very slim, skeleton style Donnie Wahlberg before his Blue Blood days. But yeah, it's a little bit part, but yeah, he did a really good job. So yeah, the structure of the film, I love the film, don't get me wrong, but I think the reason why it's in my number 5 is because, as I say, it's rather unrepeatable. I mean, you can watch it however many times you want, but you're never going to get that same impact the second time around. So yeah, for first viewing it would be number 1, but as the years go by, you know what's coming, you know what's happening, even though it's a really good story. But that's my number 5. And a funny story about number 5, Sixth Sense, because the ending is such an impact. It's got probably the biggest twist ending in any movie ever. I remember reading once that when the film was released in cinemas, I think it was somewhere in America, it was just getting to the ending, like 10 or 15 minutes before the end, and some bloke came into the cinema and shouted out, "Oh, by the way," and gave the ending away. And apparently they chased him out of the cinema and kicked the shit out of him. I think I probably would have done the same. But yeah, that's one of those endings that no, you can't spoil. You've got to actually be there to watch the film. But yeah, anyway, that's my number 5. Okay folks, so my number 4 on the list is Lady in the Water. And this is not a steelbook. I haven't got a steelbook. I don't think there is a steelbook for it, but I absolutely adore this film. A lot of people put it way down on their M. Night lists, maybe like number 9 of 10 movies or something like that. But yeah, I really love this film. basically it's about this fairy tale character, a nymph, who emerges from this swimming pool in this like apartment block that is run by Paul Giamatti, who plays a character called Cleveland Heap. Now her name, Bryce Dallas Howard, is Story, and she comes through the swimming pool to our world, but she has to try and get back, so she needs help to actually get back to the blue world. The whole setting of the film is all based around this apartment block and the swimming pool, and mostly filmed at night, and there's some beautiful scenes. In the apartment block you've got all these weird, wonderful characters. You've got Freddie Rodriguez, who plays a character called Reggie. Now he does workouts, but he only works out with one arm. Yeah, so he's got muscles on one arm, nothing on the other. But it's really weird because everything is happening for a reason, to tie up this story to help at the end. Paul Giamatti does a brilliant job on this. He's got this really bad stutter, but I don't know what it is. It's just, I think it might be something because if it's like a fairy tale story, but I absolutely love this film. And it was so emotional when I first went to see it with my friend. It kind of, as the film was getting on, we were so excited, and getting near the end, when all the things were becoming apparent and everything was coming to light, we just felt like bloody 5-year-olds. Hearts were pounding, you know, we were excited. It's such a great film. It's such an underrated great film. I love it. But yeah, and M. Night actually has a large role in this film. He's a writer, and it's to do with some book that's going to be written, and it's going to be really popular, and it's going to basically change the world. There's also a character in there called Harry as well, Harry Farber, and he's like a film critic, and he's staying at the apartment block. But some of his scenes are absolutely hilarious. You know, he's like the real critique of a film. You know, there's no originality left in movies anymore, that kind of thing. But yeah, some of his scenes are really funny and the dialogue is really good. I just love the pacing of this film, and I just love the collective involvement of all of the characters, how they bounce off each other. So yeah, I really like this film. I would like the Steelbook, but this is my number 4. Okay folks, so number 3 on my list is also, now I don't understand this, but this is a film that is not out on Blu-ray. The Village. This is also one of my favourite M. Night movies. But yeah, this is one of my favourite DVDs. And it's one of the ones I've kept because of course we haven't got the Blu-ray. So why the hell we haven't got the Blu-ray, I don't know. But yeah, and this is great because this also stars Bryce Dallas Howard, who plays Ivy, this blind girl that basically lives in like an isolated Pennsylvanian village, kind of like 1800, 1700, 1800 style, you know, there's no modern stuff and shit like that. And they all live isolated from anything from the outside world. They're not allowed to go past the boundaries of the actual village because you know, they're protected from the monsters, the creatures that are outside. It also stars Joaquin Phoenix as well, who plays Lucius, Sigourney Weaver, and Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody's character is one of my favourite characters in the whole film. He plays, you wouldn't say the R word, but he's a very simpleton bloke, very low IQ, and he's got, you know, he really likes Ivy, and he doesn't like anybody that likes her, so if he feels threatened then he will go after him, and he does. And there's like a whole collective, like a round table partnership type of thing with between the elders, and they decide everything that happens in the village and if anybody needs to get punished. Now, towards the end of this, you kind of get an idea of something's not quite right, And when it does hit the ending, and that last 10 minutes, you're like, what the you're left gobsmacked. They're pretty much the same as The Sixth Sense. But yeah, that is my number 3, The Village. I love The Village as much as I love Lady in the Water. I know they're 2 of the films that are right down there on people's lists, but everybody's different, and these 2 I absolutely adore. And I am just a little bit pissed off that it's not on Blu-ray yet. So there's my number 3. Okay folks, so we're to my number 2 on the list, which is Unbreakable. Now I thought I had this on Steelbook, but obviously not. I've got the US Blu-ray. Now this is a real good comic book film. This is also stars Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Basically, Bruce Willis's character David is on a train, and there's a massive train crash, and he's the only survivor out of everybody, and he doesn't know why, and he doesn't have a scratch on him. But then he's approached by Elijah Price, Samuel L. Jackson's character, because he's interested. So why is he the survivor? You know, why is he the only survivor? And Samuel L. Jackson's character's got this like brittle bone disease, you know, one fall and, you know, he'll break a bone and that kind of thing, so he's in a wheelchair. But this is a really good comic book film. It also has a little cameo from M. Night as well, like he does in most of his films. But I think probably this is one of probably Bruce Willis is one of his best roles, other than, you know, apart from Die Hard. It's a very low-key film. It's a very, I mean, there are surprises, but it's very subtle, and it's very character driven and situation driven and things like that. You follow the story with these 2 characters, and then of course you get the impact at the end with the twist ending. So yep, that's my number 2. So folks, my number 1 M. Night movie is Signs. Beautiful steelbook as well. The reason why this is my number 1 is for many reasons. Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, brilliant duo in this film. Basically the story revolves around Mel Gibson's character, Reverend Graham Hess, who loses his faith. Basically his wife gets killed in a brutal car crash, and he's just lost his faith, so he's hung up his white collar, and he lives with his brother Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Merrill, and also has 2 kids, his daughter and his son, and their dog. And they live out in this big old house in the middle of like a cornfield. But all of a sudden there's reports of alien activity, you know, ships sort of like hovering all over the world, and it's coming to them that, oh my, this is the end of the world, this is it, we've got to protect ourselves and save ourselves. So the tension with all these aliens, I mean, you don't see them to start with, but it's a very War of the Worlds type. You think that's what's going to happen, and the tension is really, really high. Yeah, so Mel Gibson's kids are played by Rory Culkin and Abigail Breslin when they were really small. But yeah, I love this film, and it's basically a faith movie, you know, with all this crap that's happening in the world, these aliens coming down, potentially kicking the shit out of us and killing us all. It's about this family and this reverend regaining his faith in God and everything, and the fact that we're all here together to help each other. And there are some really nice scenes. There's some really nice flashback scenes that they throw in for Mel Gibson's character, for his wife, and kind of gives a little bit of an inkling every now and again, so we can find out exactly what happened, and we know who killed his wife. But yeah, and as the film comes to a head, the beautiful scenery of the crops, and especially at the night scenes, and and they're like, you know, we must protect ourselves. And there's actually one scary scene where they're sitting around the TV, and they show like news video footage that's been caught in somewhere like Mexico or somewhere like that, and all these kids are at this birthday party, and as they're looking out the window, they're videoing out the window, and then all of a sudden the alien walks past, and my God, you get some chills when you see that, because it's not a complete image, you know, it's not right in your face, it's just like over there in the background. And Meryl's like going to these kids, you know, he's sitting in his living room, they're all getting in the way on their video when they're looking out the window, and he's saying, get out the bloody way so we can see this alien. But yeah, that's it's a really scary scene, and it really gets your heart going. And then basically Mel Gibson and Meryl, you know, try to protect themselves by boarding themselves in the house, you know, with their family towards the end, and hope that it's all gonna blow over and they're gonna get, you know, blasted by the military, that kind of thing. And then it's a sudden realization towards the end, because Meryl, Joaquin Phoenix, you know, was a baseball player, and he had an injury, so that put paid to that, and it's kind of the reason why kind of thing, you know. He's there, he had a baseball bat, and there's reports that these aliens are staying away from water, not going anywhere near water, so by accident he sort of like, you know, smashes this glass and the water over the alien towards the end, and it's really good. It's a really good scene because the daughter, Abigail Breslin, is leaving these glasses of water all over the fucking house. So basically they've got a weapon right there and then, and yeah, just smash every single glass, make as much water as possible. Probably the next time they'll probably go and live on a fucking boat or something. But yeah, anyway, so that was my number one. That's the reason why I love Signs so much. Other films that I considered that I've got are Devil, which was about a group of people that were stuck in an elevator, and one of them is like the devil. So that's a really good film. That's a very claustrophobic film. And also the one that I bought the other day, which was The Visit, which were about a couple of kids that go and spend the weekend with their grandparents. But there is a twist on that. So if you haven't seen it, see The Visit, because it really surprises the hell out of you at the end. The Last Airbender, many consider to be his worst film of all time. The acting is pretty crap. The visuals are spectacular. Now I haven't got the 3D edition. I would like to get the 3D edition, but it's nice to put it on and watch some escapism and that kind of thing. But yeah, it is a very bottom of the list movie. And the other one I've got, which was also considered to be one of his worst, is The Happening, which was all about killer wind. Yeah, well, I've had some of that in the last couple of days after my trip to the bloody Carvery. But anyway, yeah, this was kind of all right. Mark Wahlberg. So yeah, it's an okay film. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't believe it deserves the harshness that this gets. So I mean, I would see it again. But it's not one of the ones that are high up there, so it's down there with The Last Airbender. But I think people are too harsh on The Happening. And the only other one which I haven't got yet, which was at the shopping, which was Split. Now that will be high up on my list. It's not going to be in my top 5, but probably number 6. But as I say, I haven't got that one at the moment. So yeah, so that's my list of M. Night Shyamalan movies. I hope you enjoy that, and if your list is different, if you've got a different combination, which I'm sure most of you have, put your top 5 down in the comments so I can have a look and see what your top is, what your bottom is. Put some comments down there about what you think is the crappiest film, what's the best film, might be complete opposite ends of the rainbow. But yeah, I'd like to see what everybody else's, you know, favourite M. Night films are. So thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh yeah, and one more thing.
Oh, by the way, I bet you weren't expecting that fucking ending.